Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is the 14th day of spring and it is our Spring Harmony Day festival now. I'm always excited for this day. I like the idea of a Valentine's Day sort of festival put into a game, and we had some of the girls come to our house in the wintertime to give us some presents, but as it turned out, I found out a few things about this festival in particular as we're playing as Mark that differ from when we're playing as Chelsea, and so I'm just going to talk a little bit about that as I go through my chores. I haven't looked after the animals, so I guess I'll do that. So on our calendar in our house, it very specifically says that we are to give the girls cookies. And I brushed this off and I said, oh no, you can just give them chocolate. My experience playing this game was mostly playing as Chelsea when I played in my own spare time. And when you play as Chelsea, you can go to Chen's and you can just buy a bar of chocolate and give it to the male characters, and that works fine. So I thought that that was the same for Mark. I thought it just said cookies more or less as a suggestion. But as it turns out, I did a little bit of testing, and for some reason, and I don't know why they've done this, it actually does matter. Giving the girls chocolates as Mark doesn't count. It doesn't do anything. When I was practicing for today, I was going around and I was giving all of the girls their standard bar of chocolate, and I thought to myself, this is really unusual. They're not making any sort of comment about it being Harmony Day. They're not more elated than usual to be getting this nice gift. And that's not usually the case. When there's a festival, the characters will usually mention it. Their dialogue changes. And when I looked back at our first Harmony Day last year, it was the same thing. I was noticing the same lines of dialogue that I would get based upon their reaction to a liked, loved, or neutral gift. So I'm a little discouraged that it took me a while to actually use my brain and realize that, first of all, but also that they made that distinguishing difference, because that makes it a lot more difficult to give gifts to the female characters when you're playing as Mark, because cookies are expensive to make if you were going to buy all of the materials. And not only that, but you can't even buy all of the materials for cookies, because nowhere in this game are you able to buy eggs and milk. You have to have animals for that. So you have to have the recipe for cookies, you have to have all of the ingredients. You can only buy the flour, you can't buy the rest of it. And you also have to have somewhat of a good, decent cooking level to be able to make them successfully. Whereas with Chelsea, you could just go to Chen's shop, spend $100, and give the boys a bar of chocolate. So I find that really unfair, personally. And I'm really disappointed that we won't be able to really reap the benefits of this festival. Now, not all hope is lost, because at this point, with most of the characters, it's not like we need the extra boost of affection, and the girls will still come by and give us a gift in the wintertime. I would have just liked to see the unique dialogue, and it just feels nice to go out and give them a gift and make them feel special, but Unfortunately, that is something that I realized today as I did my research, so I am sorry for not realizing that earlier, but I don't feel too bad about it because that is unusual for the game to change the rules about a festival. So anyways, we're just going to go about our day as usual, as normal. A few changes to the farm. I went and planted a few more pieces of rice here in our rice paddy, so I filled out this one field and I've just kind of filled in a few gaps as well. So this rice was planted in time for it to come in before wintertime, and you can see that our first batch of rice has reached its first stage. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Our trees over here on Fruit Island, they have also all reached their first stage from seedlings. And I've been watching the weather closely. I haven't planted anything else yet, just because it's a lot of data that I have to keep track of for trees, so I don't want to overwhelm myself too much. And I just want to make sure that those trees are all going to grow in and be healthy and not die on us. Because nothing is more disappointing than putting in a bunch of work for your trees only to have them have too much sunshine or too much water and die on you. Because that is literally months of work down the drain when that happens. All the animals are good. Nothing new there. I've gotten a few harvests worth of turnips, so I'm just going to keep replanting those all season in order to get some quick, easy cash. This is my second plot of potatoes that I've planted here, and my strawberries have given me one harvest as well. The only thing I'm waiting for is cucumbers. They're the only vegetable that I've planted that hasn't given me anything yet. And aside from that, I honestly don't really have a lot to talk about. It's Sunday today, so I can't go and speak to Gannon, which is unfortunate because I'm at a point now where I need to start expanding the farm again, and I have a lot of options. I've got so many things that I want to and I need to build, but I'm not at a point where I'm able to get the lumber that I need for that, unfortunately, and I'm doing okay money-wise, but I don't have so much money that I can just ask Gannon to build things for me out of pocket either. So I've kind of just reached a point in spring where it's just regular routine type of stuff every day. I haven't really been doing much else, unfortunately. I don't mind it. It's okay for me playing in my own free time, but video-wise, it doesn't make for very good content, and I feel bad because spring started off very, very strong. You can see also that Lily has increased to a blue heart, which is nice to see. That's one good piece of news. She's moved on from a purple to a blue heart. Whoops. I didn't mean to behead her. Sorry, I accidentally chopped her head off. I forget what I was saying. I was saying something about how in the beginning of spring I was very hopeful. We had a lot of plans, we did a lot of story stuff, and I was doing videos every couple of days because there was so much going on, and now it's completely the opposite, and it's just come to like a grinding halt. So now is almost sort of like a grind for me. I just have to get the materials that I need. I have to save up money. And I'm just doing the same sort of routine stuff. An orange wonderful would help me out wonders. I would so love if I could have one of those. I've also almost diminished all of my gems that I've been giving to Sabrina. I stopped giving stuff to Regis to sort of save on my gems so I don't have to go mining again. But I'll either have to start giving her flowers or go back and make a mining trip when those run out. Thankfully, Lily's got quite a bit of gold until I run out, because I really don't feel like going down to floor 25. I was looking for Julia. I finally found her because she has a red heart. So look at that. Julia's heart level is completely maxed out. So at this point, there's no point in giving her gifts because there's nowhere to go from here. She's at a full heart. She's head over heels in love with us. And if we had all of the other requirements necessary, we could give her the blue feather and she would accept it. Unfortunately, at this point, we do not have the house size necessary for her to be able to marry us, and we also do not have the spouse bed that we would need in order for her to marry us either. But again, I'm not too worried about that because we're not just going to marry the first girl with a red heart. We're going to give everyone an opportunity. And she's the first one, so we have more of that gift giving and talking and dating and all that stuff to do with our other marriage candidates as well. But I did have a feeling it was going to be Julia. I'm not at all surprised that she was the first one to get to that point. I do honestly think that if I had been keeping up on giving Natalie some gifts, she probably would have been up there with Julia either. Why do I keep trying to decapitate people today? Whoops! Sorry, witch. Actually, that's probably the worst NPC to do that on, because she could literally cast a spell and do all sorts of damage to me. But if I had good gifts to give to Natalie, I do think they would probably be at a red heart at the exact same time, or Natalie could have even pulled ahead. Because with Julia, I got kind of lazy. I was just giving her the 300 friend point gift when I had the opportunity to give her the 500 friend point gift. I just chose not to, for the simple fact that I'd rather ship my eggs than give them away as gifts. And I think I pretty much covered everything that was new, unfortunately. So that tells you just how exciting things have been since I haven't been recording. It was really just the few heart level changes, filling out the rice, the trees growing, all that type of stuff. That's happened. No new sunstones, no big purchases, no upgrades, none of that stuff. I do wish it was another day that wasn't Sunday today, because I'd like to go and review the numbers for some upgrades at Ganon's shop. But unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of supplies anyways, so they're more or less just wishes and dreams and thoughts and planning on what would be the best move from here forward. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I have full stamina, so I'm obviously going to go and use that off screen. I'll probably go and either chop down some branches or hit some boulders. But if we look at our calendar, you can see that our sheep festival is later on this week on the 19th day of spring. Now, I am confident that we won't be able to win this, unfortunately, but we will be able to compete, which I think will be fun. Because we didn't have a sheep last year, so I think we should be giving that a try and returning. Hopefully in the few days that I have in between, something exciting will happen, or I'll have the opportunity to mention something other than just my regular sort of routine stuff that I have been doing. And if we just take a quick look at my assets here, you can see that I'm not suffering by any means. I currently have $20,000, which is a decent amount of money if I need to keep buying seeds, if I want to get a tool upgrade, those types of things. I can afford food to get me through the day, to restore my fullness and my stamina. I've got a little bit of animal food for each animal. They're all healthy and doing well. Currently, I'm at 119 pieces of lumber, not including the stuff that I have in my bag, so I am just sort of stockpiling that as much as I possibly can to use in future upgrades. Everything with the animals is good. I don't think any of this has really changed. I think all of their heart levels were the same since the last time we checked all of that stuff. And there's not really anything else to really mention in this menu. You can see that Julia has her full 10 hearts, and Natalie will probably follow afterwards. Lana's also very close. Wow, even Ganon almost has 10 hearts. And I haven't given him a gift in a while. I've also been sitting on all of my material stone as well. I've actually been throwing my material stone into this cabinet because I can't store them inside of the material shed. And I also have some branches that I've put away rather than carry them around in my inventory. So I've been trying to make the best of what I've got, and I've been writing down anything that happens so I can bring it up in a video. So my apologies that the day did not go as I thought it would, but I'll just keep on going. That's all I can really do, is just keep on going, and hopefully we make some more progress, and we will be back for the Sheep Festival on the 19th day of spring. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.